Hey guys, we are here today with Holly and Darin Poole.
Hi.
And Holly is the Vice President of the Destiny Adoption Foundation, and Darin is PR Director of that same foundation. So we are excited to be with them today to hear their story and how adoption has touched their lives and their hearts. And we'll just start with that and just hopefully something resonates with our listeners and begin.
Okay. We'll just tell you a little bit about our story. We have been married for almost 19 years this year. We have, drum roll, 6 children. And our first 3, we were able to have. Our third is in vitro, and we weren't able to have any more after that. We had some infertility issues along the whole way, and then we had some failed in vitro. And then we kind of, our dream was to have a big family, but it was kind of, that ship had sailed for us. And we have a little bit of a different story when it comes to adoption because we, it just came to us. We kind of had waited and hoped for more children, but we weren't able to have them anymore. I had a hysterectomy, and right around the same time as I had that, we had a friend come up during an important event, and she said that she had heard of 3 kids that were not related by blood, but through her family, and they were trying to find a home for these 3 little boys, and they weren't able to find anyone within the family group to take them. And we had been praying. I had been praying to know what to do when I grew up, which and I kind of was like, yeah, my kids are big. Like my youngest was 8, and they're all in school, and I work once a week, but I didn't necessarily think that I needed to go work full time. I wanted to do something different, and so we were praying really hard to know what to do. And then she approached us with this opportunity to potentially take these 3 little boys. And Darin was like, what?
I wasn't excited at first. No, I wasn't.
No, because he kind of, his ship had sailed, and he'd moved on to coaching soccer, and like he'd made plans, and so it was kind of a blindside for both of us because we were kind of moving forward. And I don't know how much you want of this story, but
No, just whatever.
okay. We didn't do anything about it for a few months, month and a half, and then this is kind of.
Yeah, then I broke her back. Well, not literally, but I've always just popped her back for her, and this time I popped it and her back went out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And so this person that we were in contact is a massage therapist. So I told her, Holly, you need to go see this person. And so then she did.
And I never go for that kind of stuff, but it was going numb down my arm. It would have gone all the way into my
So
head.
that's the only way you got into there was from your arm going numb.
Right?
So this person was the one that knew the family, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's a massage therapist. She has her own story. So she has 7 kids, hers, and ours,
Wow.
and a lot going on. And so she wasn't in a position to take them, although she would. She's amazing, if she could have.
Mm-hmm.
And she just knew that they had to come to Idaho. They're not from Idaho. So, but she was like, I just don't, they're not mine. They're somebody's, and they're supposed to come to Idaho. And I went and I had her fix my back. She fixed my back, and I forgot to ask about the boys. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm awesome like that. Because I was better.
Yeah, you're like,
But
I'm fine.
I had kept thinking, I need to check on the boys over and over again. And I didn't. And then she checked on me, and then I checked on the boys.
Okay.
And so it was just via text, and I said, would it do any good if I contacted the grandma? Because grandma at this point was the one who had the boys.
Oh, okay.
So mom had, bio mom had taken them and dropped them off on Mother's Day a couple years ago.
Okay.
And said, I can't raise them anymore. They're yours. And and Grandma didn't feel like she was in a position to keep them, and health-wise, and she works, and it just wasn't a good situation for 3 little boys.
Right.
And so I got her phone number, and I called her, which is pretty big for me because
Yeah.
that's really out of my element.
Yeah.
And it was just the kids and I, the big kids and I home, and we talked to her, and she said, well, we have someone else, but we haven't heard from them for 3 weeks. They came out and they met them, but they have a 2-year-old little girl, and the 2-year-old little girl kind of fit in amongst this 1, 4, and 3-year-old, and so it was probably a lot for this family to take on, and so they were thinking about it, but they had taken a while to think about it, and Grandma had started to get anxious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're gonna take him. And they'd also brought him out once to Idaho and tried to give him to family out here, and it hadn't worked out. And so these boys have been through a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's
Does the grandma is the biological grandma in their life still? Do they get a?
They are not.
Oh.
The boys are healing, so they are in a process of healing.
And that just needs to be that focus right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's the focus.
The focus is to be integrated into our family, and they've had to lose a lot, and hopefully feel like they've gained a lot. So
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. I can already tell that you guys have a really loving home. So, and I've never been to your home.
you should come.
Darin, what did you want to add?
I don't really have anything to add. I mean, that's really the story.
You just go to work and pay for them.
No, Holly's done amazing. She takes care of the kids most of the time, and I still go coach soccer, but they're fun, and I mean, the funny part about that is that was what I was told. I drove into the garage, and my kids, I came home from work, and Malia and Tyson jumped in my car, and the first things out of their mouth was, "Hey, Dad, you got to quit coaching soccer. We're getting 3 brothers. I'm getting 3 brothers."
Your life is
We're
over.
like, "What?"
Okay.
I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And at that point, I kind of freaked out a little bit, and I wasn't ready. And Holly and I had always talked about maybe adopting, one or a baby or one at a time, and then get thrown 3 at you all at the same time was kind of like, oh my gosh, shocking. But so they've been a blessing in our lives. I mean, it's tough to have 3 boys and take on 3 boys all at one time. But Holly's done an amazing job to help them heal, and they're getting better and better every day.
That's wonderful. How did the with your biological kids and then the 3 little boys, how has that been as far as sibling connection?
we have like evolved. Like, it has ebbed and flowed, So at first it was exciting.
Right.
Everybody wanted
Right.
a piece of the action, Like, it was fun, and the kids loved to like tell them what to do, the big kids, but the little kids had their own ideas about that too. And so that's caused a little bit of a conflict between a few of them. It definitely has had been a struggle for our she's 9 now, but our 9-year-old, because she was a baby for 8 years, and so to have to share the baby position.
She's like, what is going on?
Yes, it's been hard for her, but and early on when she was asked in counseling if she was okay with the boys, she said no, and we said, well, you need to find out what to do, how you can change your feelings about this. And so we had told her at home, okay, you need to go up and write 10 things of how you can change your attitude about having these 3 little brothers in our home. And she wrote 10, take them back. Take them back. 10 times.
Oh.
But fast forward 9 months, probably around 9 months, we went again as a family to the boys' counseling session. And she goes, who do you relate with most? The counselor asked the kids who they relate with most and who they like to play with. And she says, well, I really like to play with Harrison and Titus. And then she goes, Mom, I wish I could have said 3. So she has totally
Aww.
totally changed her opinion, and they're a part of us now. It's frustrating because they're little and they don't. Our big kids are rule kids, and these kids are kids who've never had rules.
They haven't had a lot of structure.
Yeah, so everything is a blindside for them. Everything is kind of a fight, kind of a journey of epic proportions. Right.
It's been a journey for sure.
Yeah, so they're learning. They're just, it's like 2 different sets of completely the opposite things. So they're having to learn how to meld together and be together, and it's been a journey for them.
Do they have any memory of their birth mom or anything?
Yeah. So,
They
the 2 older do, yeah, for sure.
And is that a positive thing? I mean, as positive as it can be.
Yeah.
They
Good.
don't have a lot of memory of her. They don't talk about her a lot, but they didn't even hardly when we got them, just because they're so little. And for the 6 months before we got them, they lived with grandma.
Okay.
So a lot of their memories are from their mom. The oldest remembers that she couldn't feed them, and that, but he understands. We try to help him understand that she knew her limitations, and she knew that they needed more than what she could give them, and we want them to understand that they were loved and enough to give them a better situation. And so that's kind of what we hope. They do have scars. There are lots of scars from their past lives, a lot, but they're slowly healing, and the hope is that someday they recognize that, like, their bio family did the best they could for them.
And I think that's great that you guys will help remind them, so that it doesn't seem like this big scary thing that they weren't taken care of and they couldn't be fed. You know what I mean? And when they get older, they will know that, like, because they're gonna feel the love from your guys' family.
I hope so.
Do you ever want to meet the birth mom?
We have.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have.
So yeah, so when we went out to get them, we actually met at a play place, just because we wanted to be able to meet the kids in an environment where they would love, like,
Right.
they could just enjoy running around. So we met at this, and ironically, it was like founded by a lady who was foster.
No,
like,
she had adopted.
She had adopted herself. So they gave us a discount because they were like, "What? You're having this meeting
Wow.
and you're meeting these kids? Like, this is our whole
Right.
purpose. Like, this is the whole purpose of our little play area."
Yeah.
In
How
little,
cute.
yeah,
It was awesome.
it was really cool because they were so excited, and their little workers like took some video and stuff. So the
Yeah.
mom and the grandma brought the 3 boys to us, so we got to meet them.
Was she like? What did she cry? The birth mom when she said
Yeah.
bye to her boys.
Yeah, she did.
She had some appropriate tears. She herself is a trauma victim,
Okay.
so she had something happen to her that has kind of.
I think you should edit that part out. Jeez.
Well, it's made her.
It's shaped who she is,
Yeah.
and it's part of what she's trying to learn in her
Yeah.
own life.
So it's part of her journey, and I think that's what's made this hard for
Yeah.
her. Otherwise, she would be able to have them. It
Well,
just
how
made
neat
her
is that
story.
though? That she even recognizes that, and that she does love them that much. To be like, I can't,
Yeah.
because from a standpoint of a birth mom that had her baby for 4 days, as I had her in the hospital, but I didn't grow her up. Like, these boys kind of grew with their mom, and so like
Yeah.
she's pretty brave. She's a pretty neat woman.
Yes.
Is there anything that you guys wanted to add before we ended?
Do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
He's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah, I am.
Well, I think
Holly
it's,
does it all.
I think it's pretty special, all the tender mercies, and you can kind of see looking back, and you're not even almost done with your guys' journey, but just looking back at what's already happened, it's like it all kind of fell into place how it really should. Like, it was already a design, and
God had His hand in every step of the way
Oh, yeah.
of this process and this adoption, and with these boys' lives and our lives, He he had his hand in the whole process. So,
That's neat.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.